Okay, guys, so just finished the taste test. Time is currently almost 4 o'clock, 3:59, and I'm just walking to the marina. I'm going to keep a track on the time because it's almost dinner time. I got an hour and a half till I got to come back. Is that. I'll be back in that time, but. Is there a car coming? No? Okay, good. Let's make sure. Every time I cross the road, a car comes. Really stupid. Um, gosh, my voice smells so good. Oh, God. Um, But guys, let me talk to you about something. And I looked it up, and it's a stupid reason. I really need GoPro for this. When I had the GoPro Hero 11, I could film 16 by 9. No, 16 by 9 or not by 16? Crap. The YouTube ratio for long videos. The ratio, I think it was 16 by 9. 16 pixels by 9. It's not that tall. Yeah, but it's. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I know it sucks. I'll make a second video when it's not so windy. But so guys, I have a pending order of GoPro Hero 13. I had to trade in my 11, which sucked because literally when I was walking, um, I don't know where was this? This was a couple of weeks ago. It's been like 3 weeks. Um, yeah, it's been 3 or 4 weeks, month, almost a month of waiting. Um, since the GoPro just got destroyed. Um, I gave it back to the GoPro headquarters. They received it a week and a half ago, and it was pending. They charged my card. I didn't tell them to charge my card yet. I told them I didn't have the funds. They understood. And then they said, okay, we were going to charge your card in on Thursday. I said, okay. Thank you for letting me know. That's when I get paid. And they charged my card, and I was like $1 short. And I was like, crap, what the hell? And that's when I had bills coming in, so I couldn't really pay for it. I had $20 taken out of my debit card, so I didn't expect that. That's when the bills hit. That's when my card got declined. I was like, crap. Okay. And I said, charge me next week. I guarantee you I have the funds. I said, okay, we will charge your card. So they said they'll charge next Thursday. And I get paid. I have to pay 105 plus tax. Whatever state I'm in, so taxes vary by state. But in Connecticut, I believe the tax is 6%, 6.35%. I don't remember, but I believe it's close to that. 5, 6, maybe even 7%. It's really high, but like not as high as like California, like or like New York, stuff like that. It's not like so bad, but like in Westbrook, there should not be tax. This town doesn't make a lot of money. There's not a lot going on in Westbrook. It really isn't. But like, I'm getting it shipped to Vista, and eventually, I got the GoPro batteries. I'm really happy. I'm charging them. The GoPro batteries take like if you're wondering if you wanted to get a GoPro, I'll start the top off. If you want a GoPro Hero 13, here are the things you need to buy. If you don't care about storage, if you don't want to buy the subscription, that's $100 a year. Don't buy the subscription. But you need to buy a micro SD card, 64 and higher, up to I believe 1 or 2 terabytes. I don't think they support 2 terabytes yet. Maybe in a firmware soft date, or maybe the next GoPro would support 2 terabytes. But I think up to a terabyte storage. And If you want, I'll give you the proper micro SD cards. So the micro SD card that I use, and they are the number one and number two fastest micro SD cards back in the day. Not anymore. But the SanDisk, if you use SanDisk, which is a very reliable brand, very very reliable, they make a lot of stuff. You can buy the SanDisk Extreme Pro, which I believe is the black and red micro SD cards. They support up to 1 TB. No, 2 TB now. I have 128 gigabytes. I have a 256. I have another either two 256 GB micro SD cards, and two 512s. I lost my 1 TB one. I'm really upset about that. That probably got sucked up in a vacuum somewhere, and I had to upload it to the cloud. So it doesn't matter if whoever finds it or gets thrown away, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Storage's back. The videos are back. It's not like you can take the videos off the SD card. They're not. It costs like $100. It was crazy. That's in New Hampshire though. So it costs like, there's no sales tax in New Hampshire, so it was like, it was like $110, and I was like, damn, that's awesome. So I bought it. Came on Christmas Eve. Got a job on Christmas Eve. I got back January 2nd. I used it on my GoPro 11. It gave me about 40 hours of footage, which is crazy because it was like a terabyte with actual storage is worth about 850 gigabytes plus bloatware, which is like 100 gigabytes of bloatware and just like external formats. It's really stupid, but it's really smart at the same time, so don't like corrupt files. But if you're going to get a micro SD card, you're gonna need if you are a small content creator like Maya, she's a big content creator. She has a GoPro. I'm the one that got her hooked onto that, which credit to me, credit's due. Haha. But she is trying to make brand deals, and she's using her phone camera and her GoPro 13 to do the videos. And she's made a couple edits, and they look amazing. Check out her TikTok page because she does some awesome work. Sorry, guys. So, she does an amazing edit. She has really good content. I think she's better than me. I don't really make edits. I make AI edits with the GoPro and maybe the Chromebook. And I'm trying to work on. I'm using Adobe Express to make my videos, and they're simple videos. They really are. I don't use the GoPro that much. I use my Chromebook to do those files. But they're fun to work on because like the files are small. They're only at 1080p. They're not in 5.30K. They're manageable files, and I got plenty of hard disk drive and SSD storage on my Chromebook to make the videos happen. And so if you need a camera and you want the highest possible quality without sacrificing bitrate and bit depth and quality, get the GoPro 13. It's really good live constituents. because it has a heat sink, so you can't overheat as quickly. It still overheats because it's a 1.3-inch sensor, so it can do a lot. 5.3K, 60 frames per second. But the best part about the GoPro is that you can use it to film 10-bit. 10-bit gives you, compared to 8-bit, the GoPro 7, they all the way up to the GoPro 10 had 8-bit color, 4K 8-bit color. And I think the best part of 10-bit is that the the details. There's more details in the videos, and you can change the sharpness post if you use post production. You can use a um DaVinci, and you can color grade the footage, which would be awesome. I don't use that; it's too expensive. But you can edit the footage. It's really simple to do. And I just learned this also. And I've worked on files like this, and I always save them to my hard drive, USB stick, and Google Drive. And they are LRV files and THM files. When you have a GoPro, all GoPros do this. All GoPros will have 3 files when you make a video. Regardless of how long the video is, regardless of how big the file is, there are going to be an LRV file, and they are just literally, if you have the GoPro app on your phone, it's just a quick playback feature instead of using the full MP4 video. It's just a low LRV, stands for low resolution videos, and they take up about 10% of the entire video. So if you have a 1.3 gigabyte file, MP4 file, then the LRV file is 130 megabytes. It's just compressed. It's just for you don't need them. You really don't. You can delete them. They don't take up that much storage on the SD cards. Really don't. And the biggest file is like 12 gigabytes. So if you made another thing about the GoPro is that chapters. Every 12 gigabytes. If you go over 12 gigabytes, which is like, depending on the storage and the bit rate and the sharpness on the micro SD card, like I'll give you the maximum settings. If you sharpness on high, bit rate at 10-bit, and the bit rate on high, 10-bit on, and 5.3K 60, you'll be about 10 minutes of footage is about 10 gigabytes. So it's about a gigabyte per minute, 900 megabytes per second per 10 minutes. So it's a relatively large file, but if you want to see the footage raw, you can use the auto upload feature, which is a very simple feature. Literally, all you do with your GoPro is when you are done using your GoPro for the day, I'm recommend doing this overnight so you don't have to worry about the footage. You can do it 2 ways to upload the footage. You can take out the micro SD card and upload it directly to the GoPro Cloud via GoPro Quick App, or the auto upload feature, which requires a stable Wi-Fi connection, a Stable Wi-Fi connection, fast enough to support the micro SD card, and stable enough that it can last up to 12 hours. If you're like at Job Corps, if you had Job Corps Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi was extremely fast when no one was on it. There were like 300 students. So, but the worst part was it was not stable enough to support 24-hour, 24/7 Wi-Fi. You had to sign in every 24 hours. So if you were uploading footage to the cloud manually on the Chromebook, you had to make sure that footage got uploaded within 24 hours of you signing into the Wi-Fi. Because if it didn't, your footage was not uploaded. So another thing you could use is just literally take out the micro SD card, plug it into your computer, MacBook, Windows Phone, Windows Chromebook, or Chromebook, and they have a micro SD card slot or get an adapter for micro SD cards, and go to the GoPro Quick app, download the Quick app. I believe it's on all computers, and upload the footage manually. It's a little faster because it goes directly from the Wi-Fi to the SD card. The the auto upload goes from the SD card to the Wi-Fi to the cloud, and that's a little too slow. But if you have time to spare, then you should use it because it's not like so slow. And if you have big files, like if you film for hours on end, and you need that footage to be uploaded to the cloud, then uploaded manually to YouTube or TikTok, it's a good thing because auto upload combines the clips, if they're chaptered, into segments, and you can view it all as one video. But when you download it, they'll give you part 1, part 2, part 3, for however how long the video is. It's actually a pretty cool feature. You don't need to worry about storage because if you have the GoPro subscription, you can have unlimited storage for $100. It's not that bad. And the best part about mine is when it hits, it's on my sister's birthday, so I can't forget about it because it's an important day. Sometime in July is when my sister's birthday is. So it's really fun. And it's coming up March, April, May, June, July. And I can afford it. I just gotta save 2 weeks of bills to afford it. And now, accessories. So I told you about the micro SD card, and I think another thing you might need, and this is what Maya got, and I don't really know. I haven't heard the audio from the files. That's why I want to look at her videos and see what the audio looks like, because maybe I might consider investing in one. Is the media mod. The media mod, literally you plug in your GoPro, take off the door. It's a little case that you slide your GoPro 13 or whatever number you need into the Type-C cable, Type-C outlet, sorry, and you get direct audio from the GoPro supported by the wind muffler. There's a little foam anti-muffler, and she had one, she got it, and she's been working on it, and it sounds, from what I got it when I first heard the audio, was pretty crisp audio. I never got any wind noise, any noise background. So I think it's just a relatively good, quick uh accessory. Another thing is if your GoPro, the newer batteries are actually pretty good. They're 1900 milliamp hours, which will last you about 2.5 hours of 4K footage and like 4.5 hours of 1080p footage, 30 frames per second. Um, they actually, it's they're pretty good. But if you want extended running time and you need battery life, and you know your camera can't support that long of a footage, I recommend you get the Volta. The Volta, the GoPro Volta, costs about $130 on the GoPro website. Costs about 75 for the subscribers, maybe a little less. I'm sorry, maybe a little more. It's actually a very good accessory because it lasts for 4 hours on a single charge, and you can change the output. You can charge your iPhone. As long as there's a Type C, your device has a Type C connection, you're golden. But it does not charge other devices. I tried it charging my phone. It worked for probably 20 minutes before the voltage turned off because it wasn't that fast of a charger. And my battery requires very fast charging. Well, I don't know how big my battery is on the iPhone 16 Pro, but it's pretty massive and it lasts about 16 hours a day. So it's pretty big, but I don't think the Volta could keep up. That's why I stopped turning off. But the Volta is a really good accessory because you can charge your GoPro. You can use it's fast enough that the auto upload feature is enabled, and it charges. Well, I would say with the Enduro battery, when I was using the GoPro Hero 11, it took about an hour to charge a dead battery. No matter what charger I used, the Volta or my 100-watt charger in the case, it didn't work out very well because the GoPro would say, okay, it's fully charged. I'd take it out of the charger, plug it to the GoPro, it'd be at 98%. I'm like, how are you green if you're not at 100%? I need you to be at 100%. It's like, oh, sorry, we lied. Our battery capacity is only at 98%. Like, okay, I get that, but why can't you charge to 100? And if I did, if I got lucky, I would charge 100% and stay at 100% before I used the GoPro. But these batteries were 3 years old by the time I got the 13. I was about to give them away to a Vista student, but he was unfortunately kicked out, which is not fair. Not fun. I got a little upset. Not too upset. I got a little upset. I was like, damn it. Because he had a GoPro Hero 12, I believe. So like, I said, we're going to give him some extra batteries. I had 3 Enduro batteries. And fortunately, one of them is with the GoPro 11 now, and I just have 2 more. They're in Maya's place. That's still man. Crazy. But when I first had the GoPro Hero 13, they were at like 12%. And then Maya gave me a spare battery that I might consider sharing with her. I labeled mine as mine, A, A and A, because I don't want to mix batteries up. And they're the same batteries, but like I don't want her using my batteries because my GoPro is my batteries. I didn't pay for her batteries. And rather the same batteries, same thing, same capacity, same everything. I just feel like those are my batteries. Which they're mine. I don't want to mix them up because she's already used hers. I don't know how much of I don't know how much the batteries are, how good the batteries. I think they're fine. I shouldn't use the GoPro that often. But it's just like, what do I do? Right? That's like, I want, I got the Volta fully charged. And oh, and the bundle, guys. If you're looking for a GoPro Hero 13 good bundle, you can create your own custom bundle. But there are bundles that GoPro has made, and they're very simple. Like the ones I was just talking about. Why is this on the floor? Just ripped off. Wow, um, um, the GoPro Hero 13 creators mod. I think it's media mod, and it's literally the Volta and the media mod combined. It costs like $540. The GoPro plus the media mod plus the Volta, about $540. And it's a good combo. Maya was interested in it. I told her that she could invest in it. She should. It's a good deal. If you want to buy both opportunities, then you should buy it. And she considered it, and then unfortunately her parents were little heads on it. I had to do some digging around like, well, I guess you don't need it, but like Maya wanted to make good content. I'm like, then get that. Buy them separately if you need to. If you don't have the money, buy them separately. Like, save your money and invest in both. You can get a renewed GoPro Volta for $75. Plus tax, it's like $80. And it's a good investment. If you want your GoPro to last a long time and you're doing extended shoots like night lapses or time lapses at night, I recommend you do that. But if you really are struggling on what resolution, because the GoPro 13 shoots at different frame rates and different resolutions. So 13 has this new feature that I cannot wait to use. Oh, I'll talk about that later. But like, the new feature is slow-mo burst, and it is literally a 5-second clip, 5 seconds of footage at 400 frames per second. That is the slowest frame rate on the GoPro. If you want to do slow mos, I think you do like 2.7K, 128 frames per second. But unfortunately, the resolution for the slow mo burst is 720p, and you can crop that up in post to 4K, amp up the resolution on post. It's not going to hurt the resolution. But I will say the file sizes, since such a low resolution video and a high frame rate, you need lots of light, lots of storage, and you need lots of patience while the file loads. Because it will be about half a gigabyte, 500 megabytes, to 600 megabytes, depending on lighting conditions. So what I was thinking of doing, I did this on the GoPro Hero 11 with the Volta, and it was really fun. It took me a little while to edit, but it worked. And I did slow-mo, 240 frames per second, ultra slow-mo, and did a video me jumping off the wall at the beach. It was literally a 10-second video consolidated into a 30-second clip. And it was a great video. I posted on TikTok. And it was on like 15 megabytes large. But the original file was, God, 240 frames per second. I don't know how big of a file that was. Where's the bench? Where's the bench? For the bench. Yeah. I need to do the research because I don't remember the file size. It was like 300 megabytes per second frame rate. But the resolution is only 2.7K. Oh, they're I always sit on the beach to do it. But the frame rate, 240 frames per second, I had excellent lighting, so it was a good video. It was a little dark. I tried to lighten it up in post, but it just gave me shadows I didn't see. That ruined it, so I had to go back to the original. It was not good. It sucked. But I'm just gonna ask Google what the average file size was on a GoPro Hero 11, same bit rate as the GoPro 13. You just had to remove the files. Files were a little less manageable because the files were just big. But let me just ask my phone. Let me put my Chromebook down and ask my phone what the file size is on average. Because like it's different in most situations. It really is. And I'm not too worried about it, but like let's ask what would the average ultra slow 7K 240 FPS? What would be the bit rate? Standard bit rate and high sharpness. The GoPro Hero 11. See, I'm curious. I give all the information because it'd be like, what resolution? So just slow mo. 60 megabytes to 100 meg turn on complexity per minute. Okay, so that's about 400 to 600 megabytes per minute of footage. And it's only a 10-second clip. 10-second clips play back at 30 frames per second, which was an 80-second clip. 80-second clip. Which, if you can't do this, 80 seconds is about a minute 20. It's a minute 20 seconds. So that was a 600 megabyte file. And so it was such a cool video. It really was. I love the post on my TikTok. It's actually very cool. I enjoyed it a lot. That was very fun. And I think Another thing is, since I filmed in 2.7K, it wasn't the resolution. The resolution was fine. The bitrate was where messed up because the standard bitrate is like 60 megabits per second. It's like a 5 megabytes per second. And then 100 megabits per second, that's like 12 megabytes per second. No, 25 megabytes per second. That's, if you have fast enough capacity or V30 or V60, not recommend using a V60 even though those do exist. You can really push the GoPro if you're doing creative videos. You can push the bitrate on the GoPro via GoPro Labs. It's an app, and you can change the bitrate on the GoPro to 200 megabits per second. That's like, God, 30 megabytes per second bitrate. On high, 500K, that's like almost a gigabyte per minute. Just a little over a gigabyte, like 1.1 gigabytes. And I don't recommend pushing the GoPro unless you know it. Because once you set those settings, I don't really think you can revert them. And plus, if you're indoors, there's no air circulating, your GoPro is going to fry at that bit rate. 10 to 200 megabits per second, really pushing the limits. And it gives you good detail if you really care. 5.3K, 60 frames per second, 200 megabits per second, gives you lots of detail, 10-bit color, gives you tons and tons and tons of detail. Maybe a little too much. If you have the sharpness on high, you might not like the results. I can't stress that enough. Because on the Chromebook, I can see the files. And I can manage them. I can save the LRB files, I can save the THMs. Those aren't a problem. But the MP4s, when I make them, can be literally 12 gigabytes. That's the max file. Without chaptering. When I was filming at 5.3K 60 frames per second, 120 megabits per second, high sharpness, I saw the detail. I liked the detail. But it only gave me, oh God, how many hours? Like 5 hours of footage. Ugh. It only gave me 5 hours of footage. Maybe 6 hours. Push my 512 gigabyte. So it was not. And let me tell you something. You better have the GoPro Volta plugged into your GoPro if you really want to push the limits on the GoPro. Because the reason I'm saying this is really important. It's explosive. Because if you want to save your GoPro battery from overheating, expanding, and ruining the camera, I recommend you use the Volta door. When you buy the Volta, it comes with a side door. It's a side. You can plug the GoPro Volta cable through the door and keep the GoPro protected. It's actually very convenient. But if you are doing a super long, high bit rate, like 20-minute video, then I do not recommend that you film with the battery in the GoPro. Because the battery will expand via heat, and it will damage the GoPro. And if you have to let it cool off, If the battery doesn't shrink, you might as well keep the battery in there until it shrinks down to its normal size. Because I did that in Florida, and it fucked the camera up so badly. I almost lost the GoPro. I literally couldn't get the micro SD card out. And the camera overheated 6 times. In Florida weather, it was about 87 degrees. I was filming, and the GoPro literally overheated 6 times. The battery was at 80% the first time. Turned it on, cooled it off, put it in my backpack for a little while, let it cool off, then put it back on, put a head strap, like a walk around Disney, and film. It was actually very fun. I love that. And I said, okay, so I filmed for 2.5 hours till the battery died. And that was like 30 gigabytes. And I said, shit, that's a lot of storage. But I got unlimited storage on the GoPro. I didn't really care. So I said, you know what? Let's make a deal. I got the Enduro battery. I had the Volta. I used the Volta. And the Volta died on me mid-video. And the GoPro battery was at 10%. And usually when it reaches 10%, it might be a... That's how, lazy the battery life was. And that was a new battery, so it lasted about an hour and a half with only 2.7K. And it worked. But now that I got a new camera coming on the way, hopefully next week, I can use the video. But unfortunately, I just realized this when I was looking at Maya's GoPro to give her the best settings for her cat videos. And I think I looked. I was like, huh, wonder why. But I thought I posted on TikTok. Now I got sites like, oh, it's aesthetic. Oh, it's not. It is aesthetic, but it's not the settings I was looking for. Usually, I don't like filming at 1080p. It's too bland. There's not enough detail in it. So, I said, why not amp up the resolution to 2.7K, which is Quad HD? Is it between 1080p HD and 4K, which is 2.8K, but 2.7K, whatever. It's the same thing. Close enough. And I couldn't get that resolution on the 19:6 ratio. It had to be 8:7. And I was like, why? I looked up the answer, and the answer is because it used a full sensor. And it's not too bad. It's a great setting. If you want to crop your videos, 8:7 gives you that aspect ratio. You can do a 16:9 video or a 9:16 video for YouTube Shorts. It gives you that ability. And I don't have to do it in post. It does it automatically. You get 2 large files, the same video, and see if you get the same file. It doesn't really help because I like to film in 2.7K and 16:9. I don't like filming any other resolution. So, I'm back at the beach. I'm gonna do a part 2 because this is 45 minutes of footage. My God. Okay. I will see you guys later. Time is 4:43. I've been filming for 44 minutes and 40 seconds. Bye, guys.